Hey there, Mustangs. It's Thursday, April 5th, 2018. I'm your host, Aaron. I'm here with Sean. The rail networks in France have been disrupted as workers strike against President Emmanuel Macron's labor reforms. While the strike is being led by staff at the state railway, the waste collection and energy sectors are also being affected. These strikes are Macron's biggest challenge since he was elected.
According to a senior Kremlin aide, President Trump offered to host Vladimir Putin at the White House for a summit during a phone call. The Kremlin aide, Yuri Yushakov, was quoted by Russian agencies as saying, "When our presidents were talking on the telephone, Trump proposed to hold a meeting in Washington in the White House."
A bill to end vehicle emission tests in Tennessee has passed another hurdle. If the bill becomes law, it could mean the end of these mandatory tests in 6 counties, which include places like Hamilton, Wilson, and Sumner County.
And now for your Walker Valley announcements.
Attention all athletes. Please donate your old sports equipment for youth in our community. You can drop off your donations in the Academy Plan Centers.
The Junior Civitan Club is collecting donations for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Each MAP class should have a collection box and a class leader designated to count the money and contact a club member. Thank you for joining our squad to fight cancer.
Please remember that if you have any announcements, contact Ms. Black so that they can be seen on the Walker Valley website. Now for a quick break, and then to Lane and Jerry with the latest on our sports.
Walker Valley Sports.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The music you're listening to now is by a band called Neutral Milk Hotel. And at the risk of sounding like a hipster, you've probably never heard of them. Don't worry though, you're not necessarily out of the loop. Their obscurity is largely intentional. For instance, even though they only released 2 albums, they have over 100 songs in their discography that were just never released. I, like many others, discovered them by word of mouth, because they don't advertise, they have no social media presence, and their most popular album doesn't even bear their name on its cover. So why on earth am I talking about them, and why should any of you care? Because many people, including myself, believe that Neutral Milk Hotel is one of the greatest bands in the history of music. And I am set on telling the story of the man behind the band's haunting but beautiful lyrics, odd instrumentation, and the web of intrigue that was left behind when he, and the band as a whole, stepped away from the public eye. Jeff Mangum was born in the small town of Ruston, Louisiana, to Father James N. Mangum. The name of his mother, as well as other details of his early life, are not public knowledge. The earliest documented event in Mangum's life is the founding of the Elephant Six Recording Company. He founded the company with fellow musicians Robert Schneider, Will Cullen, and Bill Doss. Soon after, he moved to Athens, Georgia, where he performed with the band Olivia Tremor Control, where he mostly just contributed vocals. Sometime around 1990, Mangum left Athens to travel around the U.S. During this pilgrimage of sorts, he released several cassettes under the name Milk. These are now recognized as the first Neutral Milk Hotel releases. These were later put onto 2 compilation records called Invent Yourself a Shortcake and Beauty. He also released several demos during this time, including Hype City Soundtrack and Everything Is. In 1996, Neutral Milk Hotel's first official studio album, On Avery Island, was released. This is the first taste the world would get of Mangum's creative and haunting songwriting, as well as their signature lo-fi sound. However, at this point, Neutral Milk Hotel was still just a solo project. Most instrumentation was provided by friends of Jeff Mangum that also worked for the Elephant Six Recording Company. After this album's release, Mangum would find permanent bandmates and the inspiration to produce Neutral Milk Hotel's most critically acclaimed album, which you'll hear all about in part 2, next week on The Spill. Thanks for watching, guys.
Walker Walker Valley Sports. Presented by Talk 101.3 The Buzz, your home of the Walker Valley Sports Zone every Monday night at 6:30 p.m.
Hey there, Mustangs. I'm Lane here with your German foreign exchange student, Jerry. Your Walker Valley baseball team plays at Ray County at 7:30.
Your softball team lost to GPS 10-1.
In college basketball, Villanova wins the NCAA tournament by beating the Michigan Wolverines.
That's all for our show today. For a complete recap of the spill, check us out on YouTube.
Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at thespill.tv. I'm Lane.
I'm Jerry. Everyone have an amazing day. Bye.